Everything has kind of come down to this last matchup here between Absolute Legends and Hawks. The reason being, Absolute Legends was able to they put up a really good fight there in their previous matchup. I was actually trying to see exactly what their score was in their other matchup. As right now
they're starting the game right now.
Yeah, so we already got the knife round has already been decided, and looks like the Hawks will be on the CT side. As we look at it right now, we've got Absolute Legends. They lost their matchup against Very Games, and then they won there against 3D Max. So 3D Max is out, so the difference stands right now between Hawks and Absolute Legends. Who's going to push on through? We'll find out right here, right now, as we take a look right here inside the game.
And the pistol round has already started. They're playing, Pronox has already taken over the catwalk.
Take a look, see how well they can be able to hold this area down.
Yeah, it looks like a standard B1 split. 2 guys long, 3 guys catwalk.
Well, look at them right now. You can see what Hawks are doing. They're going straight off the idea of trying to retake this bomb site. They backed out of there. They let them have the A bomb site. So we'll see how well they can be able to push in here. Reflex able to take down Snill. They're going to continue to push here towards this bomb site. A bomb has not been planted yet, and so they're still going to have enough time to rotate, figure out exactly. But they need to be on the lookout for the flag, as you got Ladano is going to be flanking around here with that Glock in hand. And finally going to get eliminated there. Now it's going to be down to a 3-on-4. Natu and Reflex are both down low on health. They both get eliminated at the exact same time. And now it's going to be left up here to Alu. Down to a 1-on-2. Bomb taking away here inside of the A bomb site. Spots one. They need to be on the chase here. He's got to worry about both in the exact same position. They're going to be flanking over there towards that top A side. He's going to get taken out by RDL. And now it's going to be 1-0 as Absolute Legends have taken the pistol round. The Hawks have really struggled whenever it comes in terms of winning that pistol round.
Yeah, and they used an old school 1.6 pistol there, where you let the T's take the B1 site and you just try to retake it from the catwalk.
As we see here, quick little roster rundown. We've got Snil as well as RDL, Ladano, Pronax, and PETA. Now I may have butchered every single one of those, but hopefully, you know, you can correct me in the Twitch chat, and I still won't sit there and correct it.
Yeah, it's standard anti-eco here. Absolute Legends, all of them is old 1.6 players. They have been on many events, so they won't make any mistakes these rounds.
Yeah, you can see here exactly where they stand. They're right here on this area. Natsu's actually pushing. I'm just going to hop in to see what Natsu's doing. He's getting spotted right now. And he's going to go ahead and back up there. He's going to make that call out, though, at the same time, saying, hey, their guys are going to be moving over there. And that actually has started to initiate these players to start to move up. They've got 3 guys right now here inside the A bomb site, 1 inside the B side, and 1 watching mid. That's Reflex. Reflex has done really well earlier in this match. So let's go and hop on board here and see what Absolute Legends can kind of initiate here. We've got Peter, who's leading the charge, going to get popped there down now to 73 HP. See, they might be able to make something happen here. We got 2 inside top A. RDL with a nice AK headshot. They're going to start to rotate here towards that A side. Again, this is just a save round coming in here for the Hawks.
Yeah, and this has just been on anti-eco by the books, just camping the first 30 seconds, making a methodical takeover of the catwalk. It's basically impossible for the CTs if the terrorists execute it perfectly.
So, I mean, again, this has been a game plan for a long time. What are some of the advantages by trying to strat this way? The reason why you delay it out?
Well, you want to see if the CTs is going for like a strange 5-man push somewhere, since they're on eco, and you just want to feel them out. It's like if they push somewhere and they might get eager to just take a peek, which we saw. I think it was Natu peeking out from the long doors, and yeah, it's more of like the reason why not wait.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you also have to take in consideration is the disadvantage if you push out and then you lose that weapon, then the other team has now a new advantage and they can start to kind of push in there. So there's a lot of plus sides by sitting back, waiting for something. They may be on a 5-man rush towards mid. Of course, that would usually end in a cluster for that opposing team. But as we go ahead and take a look here in this round and see if we might have the exact same type of situation. Again, here's that breaking point that we saw before. You had Razor, RDL here watching this long A double doors. You had Snil kind of watching there at the long A. This time, Alu is over here. But this, as you can see, he's actually watching just this point, just on beyond that border area. And let's go ahead and hop on board with him so you can kind of take a look here and see what he sees. Just right there on the outside of that door. and just waiting. This might actually kind of work out for them, but they will check all of their spots, especially on any type of save round. You check every single angle. They're going to go ahead and start to be able to push out. He's going to be taken down there by Pronex, as Absolute Legends is doing an amazing job being very methodical here in these rounds. As right now you can see you've got Nasu taking a look there on the top A. He's going to get eliminated there by Znil. A nice nade coming over the top as they're going to continue to push here towards that A bomb site, grouped up as a team. As the bomb carrier still moving inside the site, hasn't got the bomb planted. As now go good and punch in that code, and now it's going to be down to Reflex. He's going to get eliminated there. 3-0. The past 2 rounds, though, very, very by the book in terms of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I would like to see Hawks going for more of a stack eco. I mean, we saw Alu there all alone at long. It doesn't really make any sense because, as you said, they will check every corner. So.
That's a very valid point in the sense that they spread their players out. They're at a disadvantage whenever it comes in terms of pistols comparatively. This is not the same game that they played there against Very Games, where it was all pistols. It seemed as if we just had 30 rounds of pistol. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what's happening so far. Nasu, though, starting things off, able to take down Pronax with that M4. As you can see, Ladano down that lower side. It's just kind of searching through and seeing where everyone's at right now. You've got 3 members here moving over towards the catwalk area. Looks like Skirk and Reflex again watching that B side together, and they've moved their attention. A lot of times what we see here in the A cover is no one really playing aggressive anymore. It's usually earlier part of the rounds where they start to push up. In the latter part of the rounds, they start to play inside the site or over here towards that, what I call DMV, that Dead Man's Valley where you cross over. Let's go and hop back over here, though. As you can see, Skirk going to get taken out there, as we'll switch back over here to Ladano. Is he going to get dropped there by Reflex? Reflex holding his own there inside that bomb site. He pushes out, connects with the M4 headshot. He's picked up 3 kills so far that I can count for. And he also has the bomb down in that bomb site as well. We're back over here with Snil, utilizing every bit of that smoke as it kind of fills up that region inside of CT spawn. Spots one with the Galil. He's completely blind now. He's trying to be able to stay alive here, as he has to be on the lookout for Reflex as well. Pushing in, playing extremely aggressive. You got both CTs inside the site, takes them both down. We are now down to a 1-on-1. Reflex peeks out, playing aggressive again, but Reflex shutting him down. A great round coming in from both sides. You look at it in a sense that Snil was down on the disadvantage, but he comes back and trying to make things back to a 1v1. Reflex, though, taking a huge chance, pushing out through the double doors, but making the shot count.
Yeah, I mean, that round was basically Reflex versus Neil. They both made sick individual performances. I actually thought Absolute Legends would win the round when they got to enter frag into B site, but yeah, Reflex managed to take 3 guys out.
Yeah, you're right. They were able to take out Skirk there in the earlier part of the round. Again, Reflex picking up 4 frags in that round. That is huge, not only just in a sense for statistical purposes, but also whenever you're talking in terms of money, because Hawks, they've been struggling throughout the game whenever they exchange rounds back and forth. It's so hard to build up that economy. As we see, they've got 3 people working up here on catwalk. Let's go and switch back over here to Nasu and see exactly what he can do. This is the same setup that we've seen in the previous matchup against Very Games.
It's a very hard position there with the Famas.
Natu trying to, oh, look at this, Nasu in a really tough spot. He's going to get taken down there by Pronax. Going to be down to a 3-on-4. Natu down to very low HP, and he's actually staying alive. He's got a teammate that's giving him some cover fire there from inside of the pit. And right now pushing up is going to be Natu. Natu still picking up kills with 4 HP. Now it's going to be left up to Snil, down to a 1-on-1 over here towards that A side, and the bomb's going to get defused as the bomb was planted there inside that A bomb site. 3-2 now, as again, Absolute Legends picking up the pistol round and then playing the next 2 rounds very methodically. But Hawks, whenever it comes to in terms of gun rounds, they've been able to string together 2.
Yeah, the timing from Absolute Legends was a bit off there. They was trying for the 3-2 split on A, but the guys on long seemed to be pushing a bit earlier than the guys on catwalk.
So let's go ahead and take a look here and see exactly what kind of a situation we have in the weaponry for Absolute Legends. Looks like we've got AKs across the board except for Pronax and Pita, who both have Galils. You can see the type of setup. They're showing no attention towards that B bomb site at this moment, and Reflex and Skirk are really close to each other to give some help out if need be. Let's go and hop on board now with Pronax as he's leading the charge. Looks like they're going to try this 3-2 split all over again. As we got 3 members here on top of catwalk, the bomb carrier. Just tossing out that little flash and see if they can move in here towards that bomb site. Here, Pronax leading the charge. He already dropped down towards that lower level. He's going to be able to take out one, which opens things up, sandwiching down, able to take out two with that Galil. Great movement there by Pronax. He was the one that led the charge. There was no conflict, and he dropped straight down towards that lower region in the CT spawn to push up. And here goes Hawks. They're in a really tough spot now as they're going to rotate back around. Let's go and switch back over here to Reflex, who's saving his AK or looking for this exit. And he able to take out Snil there and pushes out right into the hands of Peta, who picks up that last frag. 4-2. Great round there by Absolute Legends.
Yeah, perfect execution there. They were flashing both from long and catwalk, and Pronax just run with his back towards long and managed to get two easy frags there. They were both completely blind.
Completely different from the round that we saw previously before, whenever the timings were off just enough where they couldn't execute.
Yeah, exactly. That just shows how important like one second can make such a big difference in this game.
Well, one of the things that we had mentioned earlier in the second and third round was that Hawks didn't really group up with each other, but look at this. They are now actually packed together here inside that A-bomb site, but at the same token, just like that, goes hand in hand. Usually the bomb carriers on the other side right now.
Yeah, but it's always 50-50. There's nothing you can do about it.
I honestly think, it is 50-50. You're right. There are two bomb sites, and they always take one of them. But at the same token, I still think it's like 90-10 in terms of whenever it really happens. They usually always choose the other bomb site. But as this round kind of pans out, you can see that the bomb is getting planted here by Ladano. And that's going to be inside that B bomb site as we take a look here. Here for the Hawks. They haven't been able to pick up an AK. That was Snill's AK. Yeah, and so Skirk is going straight for the save right now. He's going to go and hold on to this AK as we take a look at their money right now. He's got 4Ks. That's actually, this is very beneficial for them in terms of picking up that AK. So he doesn't have to buy an expensive M4 that costs $3,100.
Yeah, exactly.
And so right now, Alu's able to pick up. I think he picked up an AK as well as we take a look at his backside. No, he does have that AK, and he should just try to stay alive here. But he does take out Pronax. That actually works in their favor. If he didn't, though, he would have lost that AK. And so looking at it, they've got two AKs from that situation. Again, that's $3,100. And you look at $6,200 collectively. And you can see they're both sitting there pretty, and it might be able to help out their teammates later on in the game. But scores 5-2. They did lose that round, but it was a pretty nice save overall.
Yeah, very, very nice save. Basically means they can have one less eco. So maybe that was even worth one whole round.
So let's go ahead and take a look here. And a lot of action happening down there on the lower side. Reflex paying a lot of attention as he's taking down Pronax and Ladano. And he's immediately left the B tunnels, and you can see he's not paying attention to his right side because he has two teammates that have now cleared that area out, and he's drawn his attention here to inside of mid, spamming away. Of course, you got the bullet tracers in the third-person perspective that sit there. You can see exactly where he was spamming from. Of course, that drew in some gunfire. Now he's sitting at 47 HP as Snil picks up the bomb there inside of mid. Looks like we're going to see them start to push here towards this bomb site. I believe that's Alu who's there. Let's go and switch over to his POV. He's got two players to worry about. Reflex is actually moving over there from the bottom side. He's going to be completely blind. Wrapping around this bomb site box, he doesn't connect, and now it's going to be left up to Nat2 and Skirk here down to a 2-on-2. Bomb planter trying to get that bomb planted for long, and Nat2 takes him down. Snil is down and out, and Razor, of course, he was, Pito, who was already moving over there towards long A with that bomb, or with the AWP, because he assumed that his teammate was going to get that bomb planted. You could never make that type of assumption in this situation, as they knew that they were over there towards the A side, and he's going to have to pivot on this bomb. He's able to take down one, see if he can be able to even this one. A nice, huge round coming in there for Pito, able to take out those two frags. So even though he already committed there towards long, he was able to pick up the last two. 6-2 now is the score here in favor of Absolute Legends.
That was a 3 versus 5 for Absolute Legends, which they managed to turn around. So a huge play from Peter right there.
Just taking a look at the current economy here. Again, we had mentioned that they were going to be sitting pretty well, though. The issue is that their teammates weren't. And usually, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you want to have 3 of your players sitting good, and the other 2 you can buy for. But whenever you're sitting in the inverse of that, where 3 of them are not sitting good and you have 2, you wouldn't want to buy that, right?
No, especially on Dust 2. I mean, on some maps it works with 1 deagle, but on Dust 2 you really need to have a solid defense on every part of the map.
All right, as we take a look here in this round, though, again, this may be transitioning over to what we've seen in the past. Really strong pistols. Op shot missed there by PETA, but taking note that RDL's down low on HP, and they're all still sitting at 100 HP, and Natu has an AK in hand. They're going to start. It looks like they're going to go ahead and still trying to commit here towards this bomb site. Snil able to take down one. Spamming with the AK is going to be Natu, and he's going to get dropped down to 21 HP.
I think they're going to save. They don't have any defuse kit and no armor. So.
That's a very valid point. And you can see, though, Alu still holding it inside of the B tunnels, and that's a pretty smart move in the sense that they normally would exit out that way, knowing that Natu was over there towards that with the AK. But they're going to hold on to their AKs as well. Bomb's going to explode, and so Alu doesn't get an exit, and Natu picks up the AK. They caused a lot of damage in the round, but 7-2 now, a 5-round lead here for Absolute Legends.
I would still say Hawks is in this game since they haven't let Absolute Legends economy get out of control. They always seem to get like 2 or 3 guys per ACO.
All right, you can see that there in the scoreboard that Natsu still has 2,800 after buying. Skirk has 4K to work with there. So as we switch back over here to the overview, oh, there's a lot of action actually going to happen really early there. Natsu able to take out one, but getting exchanged as Pronax, his shots have been pinpoint accurate throughout this game that we've seen here between Hawks and Absolute Legends.
Yeah, I know he has a really low sensitivity.
Oh, that's
actually, yeah.
So much desk space.
Yeah, bad at dodging flashes, really good at long distances.
As I've heard about the story of one of the players actually broke his thumb because he had low sensitivity and threw it into his keyboard before. I can't recall who that was. That was one of the pro players. But right now, let's go back to the action. 3 on 2 right now. And Pronax, again, still alive. And he spots one. He's going to get taken out there. He got caught with the flash in hand. And Reflex takes him out before it pops. As it's going to be now down to a 2-on-2. Snil and PETA. This is the same exact type of 2-on-2. This time, Snil is going to get the bomb planted. You can see that PETA was already rotating towards long A. But he needs to be on the lookout because Reflex is right there. And he's able to shut him down. Exchange between the two. It's going to be down to a 1-on-1. Skirk and Snil. Snil is sitting at 88 HP. Skirk still has an HE in hand if he needs to use it. And he's going to get taken out there by the AK from Snil. Great round by Snil there. As now the score is going to be 8-2, Hawks trailing by 6.
Yeah, and as I talked about earlier, every round that Absolute Legends wins, they only have 1 to 3 players left. So if you look at their economy, they're actually really low on money.
Taking a look here at the money. And you've got 1,000, and they forced their buy here. I want to take a look at exactly what they have in their equipment. You got Natsu, who's got a FAMAS, M4s across the board for the rest of the team. Full nade set for Skirk. Again, he was one of the players that had everything to work with. They do have full armor. As we switch back over, find Alu. Alu completely blind. He's got his teammate to join him as well. They actually got 3 members. They've been doing the same exact type of defense. And RDL picking up 2. Both Nasu and Natu both go down to the AK from RDL. And let's see.
All in a really sneaky position here. I don't think they know that is there.
You've got Peter who's watching there inside of mid. Let's take a look at the overview when we have a second. As Alu is right there just on the other side of this corner waiting for RDL. Reflex right here. Let's go and switch back over here to Alu. Alu watching his backside. His teammate was tossing out a flash. That was Reflex. And it just didn't, the timing was perfect in terms of Absolute Legend working in their favor as he turned a little early so his teammate could pop flash for him. Wow.
Yeah, that was so lucky for Absolute Legends. Ali was sitting there aiming for like 30 seconds, and like the millisecond he turned away, RDL walked. He cannot be happy about that.
It's one of those things you have to wait for that flash to be out of his hands before you make the turn. But again, it's just an unfortunate event there for Alu, and Snil finishing things off with the AK. 9-2. Again, we had mentioned that there are some teams that you need to be on the lookout from the BYOC area, and Absolute Legends is one of them. They've worked their way through this tournament. They're able to defeat 3D Max. They had a tough matchup against Very Games, which ended in a 16-11 result in favor of Very Games. But here we are. Absolute Legends, of course, they're on the T side here on Dust 2, but they are just strolling through, sitting at 9-2 here over the Hawks. And this is a very crucial game here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see here they have another eco. Let's see if they can do the same good job they have done on their other ecos.
All right, you see right now they've got one player that's being able to push up right now. He's going to get popped there. That was Skirk. But he does slide through and gets down towards that lower B tunnels. And look at this, Alu on the other side. They've been able to come back around. Alu able to take down RDL. Of course, that AK is in no man's land. They're not going to be able to pick that one up, especially because it's covered by multiple players. Now here comes Ladano. Ladano spots one there inside of mid. He's actually the bomb carrier. PETA picking up one there, actually all the way through mid. Let's take a look here and see where PETA was. He's right here with the AWP, missing. And he's going to get dropped there by Skirk. And so Nasu and Skirk going to work there inside of mid. He will be able to pick up that AWP. And that's a pretty decent save, especially looking in terms. Forget about the AWP that they may have picked up here in the situation. And forget about the AK. They've eliminated 3 players so far. The bomb just got planted right now in this 2v2. Nice nade that comes over the top. Snill's still alive, though. AK's coming across, and they lose both of those weapons. Again, in a 2-on-2 situation, you're sitting pretty whenever it comes in terms of health. You have an AWP, an AK. You have to make an effort for it, especially when you're down 9-2, which has now been moved over into 10-2 score right now.
Yeah, they made the right decision, and once again they had a really close eco round. I think this is like the 4th of this half they have killed 3 to 4 players on an eco.
Let's go ahead and see here the setup. Again, this is a round, but look out for Reflex. Let's go and switch over to his POV. He was really dominant earlier. He had 2 kills down here at lower B tunnels, but he played a little bit more aggressive. He's going to start to push. Look out for Skirk pushing inside the tunnels. Now comes Reflex. The attention has been brought to that B bomb site. He's going to be coming on the flank. We'll go ahead and stay here, but look out for Pronax. Pronax is almost, now he pops him out there with the AK, and this round is already looking pretty good here for Absolute Legends, which is not a good sign. You don't want to have to save, because what you're forcing yourself into right now, Threat, pistol round. And right now, what we've seen here on the stream is Hawks has been struggling in terms of pistol round. You cannot force yourself to have to win out on pistol round.
No,
It's game at this point. I mean, if they lose this next round, even though they're saving weapons, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, the pistol round might not even be enough when they change side. And I want to talk about this one. I don't really understand what Hawks was doing there. They tried to push the dark hallways, but they didn't use a single flashbang. They just simply walked through the smoke.
I didn't catch that, but that's terrible.
Yeah, they just walked through a smoke and they got 2 entry frags. And everyone who has played Go and gone through a smoke knows you can't see anything when you go through them.
Exactly, and really it's the person outside the smoke that has that upper hand. Because they'll be able to see you before you break the smoke plane. That's actually one of the members from Team Dynamic, the American team. We had a conversation. It's a little bit easier for me to have conversations with them. But he had mentioned that's one of the issues that he has with the smoke in its current form. But let's go ahead and take a look. Got a member moving up there towards Catwalk. That's Pronax. Of course, can't count him out as he's already down to 19 HP. RDL going to work, and this round is done. And I will go ahead and say that this game is over at this point. I mean, because right now, again, it's easy to call at this point whenever it's being 12-2, but pistol rounds, you cannot just sit there and force yourself to have to win one.
Yeah, I mean, even if they win, I mean, Absolute Legends just look so solid right now. Their strategies are so much better than Hawks, and I don't think their CT side will be any worse.
Just kind of panning out here. RDL able to take down Nasu. Bomb actually happening over here. Let's go and switch over to Skirk's point of view. He's getting fired upon. He's just not hitting it with those shots right now. Spamming away, completely blind. Just struggling. Reflex, though, he has been on point. And actually pushes him back. And now it's going to be down to a 3-on-4. As Alu on the other side of the map was able to pick up one with that AWP. Let's go take a look and see where they're going. Looks like they've been heading over here towards Catwalk. Switching back over here to Natu. Here with Hawks. He's got a FAMAS in hand. Full auto spray with the FAMAS. And he gets dropped down to 20 HP. He's going to back up to his teammate Alu, which he drops down with that AWP. Look out for Long A, though. They've got one member pushing up over there towards that side. as Alu is taking out one, but his flank is exposed there by Pita, and Pita gets dropped. He's going to be left up here to Lodano inside the site there. He's now going to be down to a 1-on-2. Let's go. We're on board here with the Lodano here from Absolute Legends here in the final round of the first half as he's pushing back around as Reflex crawls his way and picks up the round. Threat, it comes down to this pistol round. I really think this is the big point right here. If Hawks can get hot, it's going to be difficult no matter what. Both agree about this, especially talking about gun rounds, especially the way that Absolute Legends has been playing. But really, in my point, this pistol round is huge.
Yeah, they must win this pistol round, and not even that. I think they have to string like 2 weapon rounds together after that as well. Force Absolute Legends into a bad economy, and it's going to be super hard. Let's see if Absolute Legends have interesting pistol round.
This is what they did before last time. They actually had 2 players. They had Lulu and Natu this time spamming inside of mid. But look, you've got Snil playing close range right here.
And Lid is having a crossfire with him and no tower.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you got a tower right there. That's what you mentioned there. As they're pushing up there towards Catwalk. It's kind of a traditional sack that we've seen in the old days. As they're going to continue to be able to push here inside the site. As we take a look, you can see one watching over there towards the flank. It's going to be a 5-man push here towards Catwalk. It's already down to a 3-on-5. They have the upper hand here. Bomb will get planted there inside of top A. It's a long A plant, but they're still contesting towards Catwalk. Alu with a beautiful nade, able to take down RDL. And again, just kind of moving over there towards the site. We're on board here with Pronax, the LMS, and they need to at least take out 1 player. So this very good situation. All 5 players stay alive, and they win the pistol round.
Yeah, very good start here from Hawks. We saw Absolute Legends doing an 1.6 pistol round, actually the same that Hawks did. And just showing how good the smokes are in this game. They threw 1 smoke at the middle doors, and the guys in the middle couldn't see anything.
Well, in the past, we used to have to double smoke areas. Yeah. In this game, it's just 1 smoke is well enough, especially how dense they are, and there's no way to get underneath and look at the bottom of the smoke and be able to see through it as well. So there's a lot of things that work out in favor, especially. So that $300 is definitely worth it. As you can see, Skirk checking his spots, but let's take a look and see where they're at. You can see they're pushing up here through the tunnels. Through the tunnels. Natu's right there down below. Let's take a look and see what's happening over here. He's got a Bison in hand, which has a lot of bullets. He's got a teammate to be able to help him out as well. Reflex able to take out 2, but 1 member left is going to be Snil. He's outside here in this B tunnels.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Absolute Legends decide to
Reflex is right there, though.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Absolute Legends going for a triple eco now, since they know they have so many rounds to play with and they don't want to get in a bad money situation, so just have an extra eco, I would say.
Let's see if they end up deciding to buy anything at all.
No, they shouldn't.
I mean, typically what we've seen in the past, we've seen some players actually buy P250s in certain situations. But again, Absolute Legends playing it by the book.
Yeah, exactly. They know they don't have to play on the economy. They just need the rounds.
And look at this. You can see that they've got... This is a pretty traditional stack, too. And they're actually going to fall right into this trap. See how well it's going to pan out. All they have to do is get a couple kills to feel content about this round, as they're going to be able to push back around. A bunch of kills being put on the board there. And sadly enough, all 5 players, again, are still alive. And you can see in the current money where they sit, they don't have to buy anything in terms of ammo or anything like that we had to deal with in the past for 1.6. And they're able to just continue with what they have. So the only thing that they have to worry about is buying nades.
Yeah, exactly. And we say Absolute Legend here is not deciding to go for a triple eco. They are satisfied with just 2.
Well, again, what we know, the past history was Snil. I mean, he's got that FAMAS in hand. He is very, very, very deadly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to see Snealing with some action here in the middle.
As he spots 1 going for the burst fire side of it, but he's going to get taken down there by Nasu's AK. They're going to be pushing up here inside of mid, but look out, you've got Lodano. He's got his teammate that's going to be able to help him out as well, but both of them go down. The B bomb site has been cleared out from all sides, even though they had 2 inside of B and also had Snil inside of mid. As you can see, Alu watching down there towards that lower side as we switch back over here towards the counter-terrorist side. Still trying to be able to push up in there. Looks like they're actually making an attempt here, as it's going to be down to a 3-on-2. Flashbangs coming over the top. Oh no! RDL catches his teammate on the backside, and they're going to have to be able to fall back here and hold on to these weapons here. You can see RDL going over there towards the terrorist side He's going to save his weapon over there. Natsu, Reflex, and Alu. They're just making sure that they win rounds. That's the main thing. You have to consistently play one round at a time from here on out whenever you're down that low, because after a while, you finally catch up and going, hey, we're back in it.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great decision there from Absolute Legends not going for the retake.
As we take a look back at the money and where we sit right now, you can see they've got 3,300, 3,900. So they don't necessarily have to buy it, but it looks like they're going to. They don't want this game to get too close. At the same token, you know you only have a few rounds that you have to win to be at tie point, but you also have to take in consideration that you don't want the game to get too close where you have to sit there and fight for the rest of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they haven't been getting kills the second half. Sadly enough, we can't see how many kills they've gotten or how many deaths that Hawks have, but the Hawks have not died that many times. So you're thinking mentally that they haven't had to buy that many times, so their money's probably sitting pretty good because they don't know exactly how many nades they've been buying. They don't know how their armor's been, they don't know exactly how much they've been going into buying. Like we have, and you can look at it, Nasu's at 9,800, Reflex is at 8,250, Alu's at 76. Yeah, they're sitting well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if Absolute Legend wins one round, it's going to be so hard for them to string rounds together now. So Hawks actually has a chance of going back into this game right now.
So looking at it, we're going to have 3 consecutive gun rounds, no matter what, from Hawks, in my opinion. That's if they don't buy any AWPs or really expensive weaponry.
Yeah, and if Absolute Legends wins one and lose the next one, they will probably force a double eco. So yeah, I think this game is pretty open right now.
It's one of the advantages of being on the T side right now. Bomb's going to get planted there inside the A bomb site. Nice shot coming in by Skirk. Able to take down RDL. Now it's going to be, they've actually got still one member over there towards that A side. Reflex, though, loving this Galil. He's able to take out Ladano previously, but Pronak's able to drop one with the AK. It's going to be down to a 3-on-4. Pushing up is going to be Natu taking down Pete over there towards long A.
They should just save right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so Razor, check that, Snil is going to save his FAMAS. Switches over for the M4, probably going to drop that off for a teammate. Let's take a look and see what he has for money. He's going to end up with 3,500.
And they're going to have money since they lost 5 rounds in a row. I think he will drop the M4 and he will buy a FAMAS.
Yeah, so they're maxed out at 3,400 now from the economy bonus. Yeah, they've got to save, because whenever you're thinking about terms, you sit there and you can buy a FAMAS and buy armor, but then you're just stuck. You don't have any nades to work with. They really they don't want to force themselves, but they have to sit there and win this next round though.
Yeah, I feel like Absolute Legends should try to be more aggressive the next round. Maybe go aggressive in the mid doors and catwalk at the same time. Well,
that's kind of what they're looking like they're doing right now. They've got 2 guys inside a catwalk. And PETA is actually playing close quarters there inside of mid. But again, this is not that gun round, though. But let's see here. Got Alu there inside of mid, who's getting spotted there by Pronax. Again, now the little difference here is Reflex has been playing really well. And so he's playing a little bit more aggressive there in lower B. Oh, no, that nade kicked that AK out in the distance. You can just see him saying, no! But he does get taken out there. As now it's going to be down to a 3-on-5. Alu picking up another one. Again, save around here. Let's switch back over here to Snil, who's had this M4 now. He's got 2 players to worry about here on Catwalk. Nice headshot. And that's going to deter Natu. Natu says, I don't want anything of that. And his teammates are going to go and move over there towards that B bomb site. Snil pushing back around, pushes straight around through that smoke. It actually works in favor of Snil. He's going to come back around. This is down. I know it's a 1v4, but still, he's still making an effort here. And he's completely blind, pushes out, takes down the bomb carrier. He's able to take out another one. Oh, he's going to get dropped there by Alu. Again, I'd never count out Snil. I've known him for watching his gameplay for so long. His history, you just don't check him out.
He's such an underrated player. He was actually one of the best players at the end of 1.6, I think.
Yes. Absolute Legends had a huge lead in this game, leading it 12-3 from the first half. It's sitting at 12-9, 6 rounds in a row, and that even includes, I know I'm shocked as you are, as Hawks did win a pistol round, and they were able to string some rounds together. And here we are, Natu on this gun round, able to pick up 2. RDL able to answer back, though. Able to drop Natu and Skirk. It's going to be down to a 3-on-3. Rotating around is going to be PETA down that lower part in the CT spawn. Bomb can't get planted here for Catwalk. As that's exactly what's going to happen here. Let's see if they've got anybody to worry about. You've got PETA down the lower side. Pronax is on the flank right now. Switch back over to his POV as he's coming back around. Nice little flash coming over the top. He's going to be able to take down Reflex. Also drops Alu, and there goes another one. That was Nasu by RDL. And here we have it. It took 7 rounds here for Absolute Legends on the counter-terrorist side, but finally they picked up their first round here in the second half.
Absolutely phenomenal play there from Pronax and RDL, winning that round all by themselves. I mean, after NATO got those 2 empty frags, they managed to clean the round by themselves.
But in terms of money, whenever you think about it, they've won numerous rounds in a row. They haven't lost multiple players in time, and they have already bought at this point. And Nasu has 11K to work with. Alu sitting at 8K, so they'll be able to buy. But look at this. You've got PETA inside of mid, going to work, picking up that first one with the op. As you can see, he's taking a look over there towards that catwalk, see if there's anybody there. Nasu's right there. This is that cross point. Pretty close straight line. As you can see where he's watching that point. See if Nasu... Oh, he takes his eyes off that point. As that smoke is right there. He spots... Oh, just sliver by.
Look at that smoke.
He didn't see him. As he does make it on through. That smoke was just enough. And he was just trying to hop his way to see if he could see him cross.
Yeah, in 1.60, he could have been able to see over that smoke towards catwalk.
And still watching over there towards that top A. This is a very tough round here. Pronax set up there inside the side. He can see a very small sliver there in the corner side of his screen, but that's not where the action is going to happen. You got PETA inside CT spawn. Really tough spot to be in. He's going to just try to go for the counter flash and try to slow them down.
And they have 3 guys as long.
Oh, chasing now. It's going to be Natu. A nice headshot by PETA. That's going to give him an 8K too. It's going to work out for him as looks like they're going to try to work out. This is going to be down to a 5v3. Still going to get taken down by Reflex. Bomb's going to get planted here for Catwalk. And the 2 members are moving over there towards long A right now. And Nasu still going to work over there towards that. He's over towards top A. He spots once, trying to spray through that smoke, getting taken down. It's going to be down to a 2-on-1. Skirk all by himself in a really tough spot. He's getting forced to come out and going to get taken out there by PETA's AK. Again, Natu is going for that defuse there. You wonder if PETA was able to pick up that op. You can see Ladano now wrapping back around, going back towards that CT spawn. Will he be able to pick it up? He does pick up that op. Again, thank you, Natu, for dropping down into the CT spawn and giving me your AK to be able to finish off that round. 14-9 here in favor of Absolute Legends.
Yeah, great play from Absolute Legends right there, playing just 2 perfectly. They had 3 guys at long, just saying, you can take B1 from Catwalk. We will just do a good retake from long.
See what PETA could do again here. He's got the op in hand, playing aggressive over here towards Catwalk. Peeks out, takes down Reflex. That was a big round there to start things off here for Absolute Legends. One of which he was able to get that pre-pick, starting this game off. But 2, he was able to take down Reflex, who's been really, really well with that Galil in hand. As right now, Natu able to start things off here for the terror side, able to drop RDL. It's going to be down here to a 4-on-4. They made their way here towards the A-bomb site. It's completely clear. Let's go and switch here on the other side, because right now you've got all 4 members right here inside of mid here for Absolute Legends. And you've got these 2 working over here towards the top A. Right now, switch back over here to PETA. PETA's going to get taken down there by Nasu. Switch as we're on board now with the AK from Nasu. Nasu trying to hold it down, had 2 points as he has to watch out for Pronax. Able to shut down another one. Now it's going to be down to a 3-on-2. But look out here for Alu. He's on the flank, but he may take too long. His teammate trying to hold his own. That's going to be Skirt. As here goes Londano. On the flank again is going to be Alu. Perfect smoke coming into play there. He's not going to be able to take him out, as that bomb will get defused there by Pronax. And so now it is game point here in favor of Absolute Legends. And again, I had mentioned they had 3 rounds that they could have worked with there to buy consecutively. 3 consecutive gun rounds. Those 3 rounds are eliminated. They're out of the picture. And so now they need Nasu and Alu to try to help out their team to buy AKs and help out the rest of them.
Yeah, we actually see Skirk here with the Galil. So they're really pressured now with the economy.
I wonder if my money is not working, because that doesn't make any sense to me to not drop a weapon for those guys. Because you've got, like you mentioned, Skirk with an AK, or I apologize, a Galil. They all have full nade sets. Again, Skirk should have, he may have just bought, because Skirk right now, he could have been dropped an AK and have a full nade set right now. Unless he just dropped, he was the one that popped that smoke. Again, a lot of assumptions. I'm just kind of curious of what's happening here. Must have made that smoke pop because Pete has been really effective both inside of mid and also moving over there towards Catwalk.
Yeah, very bad communication there in Hawks, not dropping weapons.
He still should have had an AK, I don't.
Yeah, absolutely. They had money for dropped like 3 or 4 of them. And they are at a match point, so it doesn't make any sense.
Unless it was a request from Skirk. Other than that, I don't see the request anyway being made.
Yeah, the AK is better than the Galil.
That's not a question at all.
Yeah.
As right now looks like they're going to be able to push out here inside of mid. And Natsu, he's trying to hope that Natsu could have made something happen over there towards Catwalk. He was going to drop down, I believe. They smoked this area right here, and he dropped down inside and tried to make something happen. But as we hop back over here towards the side, this could be it. As it's going to be down to a 4-on-2. Skirk, again, he's got this Galil in hand. How much work can he do? He's all by himself. That's game over. Game point there for Absolute Legends. They take it 16-9. Again, it's so difficult to come back from a 13-2 deficit. But they made their best effort. They won the pistol round. That was the first stepping stone. Then after that, they continued to string rounds in a row. They were even winning gun rounds that really mattered. But in the end, you have Hawks. They're going to be sent home, and Absolute Legends. This is all assumption-based. I can't recall exactly how all the points work, but I'm almost making the point that very games, they move on, and Absolute Legends takes this one as well. So they'll move on into the quarterfinals. What'd you take from that matchup right there?
You mean this game?
This game right here.
I don't know. I thought Absolute Legends was going to win. I played with Sneal a lot before. I know he make really solid tactics, and yeah, he showed here that their execution was just so much better than Hawks.
Yeah. So one of the things that some of the differences that we saw between the game is on the terror side for Absolute Legends. Just very by the book, every bit of it. I mean, we're talking in terms of the second and third round after they won pistol round. They held back towards the terrorist spawn area. They had one watching the B tunnels from terrorist spawn just over the lip of the railing so he could see if anybody pushed up. They had one player kind of watching mid, and they were just all cooperating right by T-spawn. 30 seconds in, okay, we've made our call. Natsu even pushed up at one point, and they moved from there. They just made things happen. They just continuously worked those games out throughout, and they really put Hawks in a tough situation whenever it comes in terms of any type of money. But, you know, most of these guys, the way that everything works out, we can make our kind of viewpoint on things. We're casting through the game, but we also have our guys down there with Redeye and Lurppis. Guys, what were your take on this matchup here between between Hawks and Absolute Legends in that matchup?
Yeah, thanks very much, Corey. Yeah, I sort of dumbfounded in some ways because if you looked at the groups in the way that they were set up before, you'd always say that the BYOC team would probably not make it through the groups. And you'd certainly fancy 3D Max or Hawks. And the way the Hawks played early on today, you'd think actually they've got a really good chance. But Absolute Legends were pretty good. They were so strong in that Dust 2 in that first half.
Well, I think Hawks lost the game because the same reasons they lost against very games. They were actually, I think they were closer to winning than the score implies.
Yeah.
There were at least 3 rounds that they lost on the terrorist side right there. That came down to a single frag.
Yeah.
That had it gone the other way around, Absolute Legends would have lost, and each of those rounds would have forced the Swedes to save. So at one point it was 13-9, and I was watching in the tournament area with some of my friends, and I told them if the Hawks win the next two gun rounds, it's going to be tied up at 13.
Yep.
They're going to have a lot more money, and they're going to be on terrorist side, so they're going to be favorites. But they kept doing the same mistakes they did against the French team in the previous match. They had tons of rounds where they went up in numbers at CT side. We saw Reflex push the lower tunnels one round, get 2 kills.
Yep.
And then, as my brother put it down in the tournament area, I was talking to his teammates. They basically just split up all around the map. They'd have one guy in B, one guy middle, one guy kind of spotting catwalk, not really holding it, one guy holding long.
It's very isolated.
One guy a flotator, so they didn't stop a single area. When you're up in numbers, the worst you can do is let people come out and pick aim fights, because all they have to do is win 2 duels and you're evened out.
Yeah.
If you group up and let's say you have 3 people holding cat, one of them slightly spotting long, and 2 people holding B, then no matter what happens, those people defending those sites should be able to get 2 kills if they all get killed. Yeah. And that should give them a very favorable round, but they kept making little mistakes like that. And
I mean, you were right, though, early on in the game. it came down to just a couple of frags either way, and it could have gone either way. I think 12-3 first half. Were you surprised by how wide that margin was? Because it almost seemed to me like there were 6 rounds in there that were won, literally the 1v1 or 2v1, very close rounds all the way through. We've actually got some highlights for you, so if we bring those highlights up, we'll run those for you now, and we'll carry on talking about the particular highlights that you see on the screen. The first one is 8 rounds in, and we're with Pitta on this bomb plant, 2 versus 1, big round again. This was fairly typical of what it was like in the first half, wasn't it? You sort of thought, well, okay, 2 versus 1, he shouldn't be able to win this, but good shot on the first one, and then the second one, well, I don't know. I didn't think he was favourite to win that round.
He wasn't a favorite, but Hawks also played that bad. Their communication was lacking throughout the half, and one of the players would have had tons of time to rep all the way around to long.
Yeah, and even the point you were talking about earlier, because you were saying if they won the next 2, they would have won the next 4 effectively. So this was this was the pivotal round really in the second half, 13-9 and 4v3 really. And AL, yeah, okay, they've got the manpower, but then evened up to 3v3. So at this point, you sort of go, actually, Hawks are favourite now.
Yeah, of course, but also something that I didn't see when I was watching him down in the tournament area is Natu completely blew that round for his team.
Yeah.
He was supposed to jump into CT spawn, as we saw. I wasn't sure how Pita killed him, because I was watching behind my brother, and he was supposed to run up to long. And if he ran there, that would have been completely smoked off.
Absolutely.
There's no chance Pita kills him, and he probably kills the guy long. So that round was completely Natu's fault, now that I saw that.
And the weird thing right at the end of that, you just saw it right at the end, was Ladano actually got the final kill, or Pita actually got the final kill. Ladano then didn't have a kit and knew that the timer was running down, so he had to run away and let Natu come back in and defuse. So it was yet another one of those diffuses. This is 14-9, so this is effectively match point. Win this one, that's it. It's almost game over.
I also disagree with the way they were calling strats. I was talking to some of the other Finns who are from Finnish esports media here.
Stop doing that.
I wish.
You're frustrated.
It's very frustrating watching them play. I just want to knock him on the shoulder and be like, do this. I feel like if they did the strat that was working for them very well against Very Games, which is split into the B bomb site through middle and B, they would have easily won against their defense, but they wouldn't do that. Even this round, this was a big favorite situation for them.
In terms of a few personnel, Pronax, I thought he didn't top the scoreboard, but he was very effective throughout the whole game. And Znil, again, I think Threat said he's one of the most underrated 1.6 players. I actually agree with him. I think he's one of the best 1.6 players towards the end of the game.
He's fairly underrated. By the way, even this round, Alu was too late on the flank because of a miscomm. His teammate who died there, that was Natu, I believe, he didn't call that both CTs were running all the way into the site, and I was watching them, and I wanted to yell. I wanted to just tell him, like, run.
So the thing is, I think what Hawks can take out of this, and they can take a lot of good things out of this tournament, even though they haven't qualified, because they've done very well against Very Games. They've put up a good score. They've won against 3D Max, who are a well-established CSGO team who've played plenty of games already, and they've gone sort of close with Absolute Legends. So from all of those 3 matches that we've seen so far, I've learned 2 things about them. One is they can't communicate, and the other is they can't play pistols. So presumably, if they improve their communication and they improve their pistols, they'd be a great team.
What I was going to say is, and I think I said on the stream in the previous game, is they have a really high ceiling, but they also have a low basement. Exactly. So that's actually a good thing to have for a team, because it's much worse if you're just even out everywhere, because that means you're capped out. There's nothing you can do to improve. For them, there's very little improvements they would have to make to top the entire group.
Yeah, I think it's good for them.
Yeah, it's promising for the future, but there's obvious issues also, because this was the biggest tournaments for the rest of the year. I'm not sure if they don't have a sponsor anymore. I'm not sure if they'll be able to go to any of the other tournaments that are happening later in December. And
it would be a shame to not see those 5 players come back and play in CSGO.
It would be a shame not to see them. And also the problem is that after New Year's, it's such a long break. Every team takes a break around New Year's and Christmas. That's a given. And that's when you usually lose the little edge you might have gotten. And the longer CSGO is out, the better everybody is going to keep getting. I think that's a pretty obvious point. Everybody's going to keep improving because the game is still so new.
Yep.
So
good point to end on. So we know the group winners. We know the group runners-up in Group C. It is, of course, Very Games moving on to the quarterfinals, as we predicted earlier on. And I could have put my house on that, and I'd been pretty safe in keeping my house. But in second place, it's actually the BYOC qualifiers, Absolute Legends, proving that it's not just NIP that are good Swedes in CSGO. We'll be back very shortly with the Group D action that kicks off. And of course, don't forget later on we've got the quarterfinals, the start of the quarterfinals as well. So it's a very long day indeed. Some great Counter-Strike Go coming your way. We'll be back very shortly.